So Boruto is by far probably one of the strongest ninja in his generation. That's not really something that you can debate because Boruto has shown time in and time out that he's probably one of the strongest that there is currently, you know, amongst the current genin. And in this current arc, the Chunin Exam arc number 2, it really seems like Boruto is about to go off because I think he might fight Mitsuki. I don't think it's been confirmed yet, but he apparently might be fighting Mitsuki. And the way I see it, Boruto is way too strong to even be competing here in the first place. Now I understand they gotta do the formalities and everything like that, but at Boruto's current level, he just does not need to be here because he's just not going to put up a fair fight for anybody. Now, he does have the karma, which puts him in another tier. I'm assuming that he might not be able to use the karma still just for this Chunin exam. I'm not exactly sure. And I'm not exactly sure if he's even going to fight because they're apparently away from the village right now on some mission that they got caught up in. So I'm not sure if they're going to actually fight, but you know, Boruto with the karma seal is just like hacks because he can absorb ninjutsu, gets that speed and power boost and a whole bunch of other stupid things, right? That has to be eliminated completely because if Boruto is using the karma seal, you might as well just promote him to Jonin then, right? Like, why are we doing this? That's dumb. You might as well just let him skip all the steps because at the point where Boruto's at, he's just miles ahead. Now, I understand being a Chunin is more about the leadership and being able to inspire others, and you know, they still have to compete in order to be promoted to Chunin. But you know, let's talk about Boruto. We'll talk about him without the karma just to make it a little bit more fair and make more sense, that way we're not talking about super amped up, hyped up Boruto that's taking everybody. So I guess he's gonna be fighting Mitsuki, so let's go ahead and just look at what Boruto's rap sheet looks like and kind of his history throughout Boruto. If we look at some of Boruto's past fights, he is very crafty, very smart, very quick on his feet, very intelligent. Boruto got some really high scores on the exams. I don't remember how high they were, but they were definitely up there in terms of, you know, people who scored highs, similar to like Minato and Itachi. And if you look at some of his recent fights, like Boruto versus Ao, I think Boruto versus Ao is a perfect fight because it shows just how quick Boruto is on his feet, going up against someone who is clearly much stronger than him. Now, Ao is kind of old and sort of washed up. He was using these scientific ninja tools, and what we know about these scientific ninja tools is that the scientific ninja tools help out people that are not necessarily gifted anymore or may have some issues, and, you know, in terms of like power, they're not as strong anymore. And what these ninja tools help them do is to sort of level the playing field, right? So we saw Ao with like a machine gun, a arm that could absorb jutsu. We saw him with like drones and everything like that, right? But if you look at how Boruto was able to beat Ao, he did it in a very crafty way. First, he tricked Ao with that one maneuver where he acted like he got stabbed, and then moving on later into the fight when he was fighting up against the drones, he managed to plant paper bombs on tons of drones while soaring through the air, and he managed to beat Ao like by popping out of the ground with a Rasengan, surprising him. This is Ao, someone who has been in many wars, someone that has seen death so many times, and he was able to beat Ao that way. Now, like I said, he's a little bit old, but still, Boruto was able to trick somebody who's probably seen a dozen of things throughout his life and beat him pretty easily. Now, if we look at other fights like Boruto versus Boro, Boruto and Team 7 were destroying Boro for a good minute, right? But Boro just kept on coming back. Part of that was just due to him just being a little bit overconfident and thinking that these kids don't really pose too much of a threat until it was too late for him. But even in that fight, Boruto had some good sequences where they were just able to trick Boro and get some clean hits on him, and you know, towards the end of the fight is kind of when it got out of control. But if you just look at how the way Boruto fights, he's just clearly not on the same level as everybody else. Even his own teammates, Sarada and Mitsuki, I'm sorry to say it, but Boruto is leaving Sarada and Mitsuki in the dust. In the manga, we barely even see these two, right? It's like Team 7 doesn't even exist anymore. It's just a Kawaki and Boruto show. Because, you know, at this point in the story, what could Mitsuki and Sarada even have to even get to Boruto's level, right? I guess for Sarada, you would really just have to have her leadership abilities, and Mitsuki being support. I guess Boruto would just be the strongest person on the team, but you do need those supporting roles as well. And, you know, just being strong isn't enough. So I guess in terms of that, that's how Sarada and Mitsuki are sort of staying on the same level. But, you know, those two, his two teammates, they're not even on the same level as Boruto. And I would consider Sarada and Mitsuki to be one of the strongest new generation characters that there are so far. And, you know, I didn't even mention this, but Boruto has showed us 3 different chakra natures at this age. We've seen him use water style jutsus, lightning style jutsus, and wind style jutsus. I mean, that's 3 right there. And you know, even during that fight with Ao, when he produced that water wall, that thing was huge. So he has these 3 chakra natures, and he's not just decent with them, he's actually pretty damn okay. So I mean, who else in the village is even using 3 chakra natures at this age? Boruto is literally just cheating when it comes to the things that he can do. Now let's look at Mitsuki, right? Mitsuki is who I think he's going to be fighting. I'm not exactly sure, but you look at Mitsuki, right? Orochimaru's son, quote unquote, and he specializes with the snakes and everything like that. I think he also has wind and lightning chakra natures as well. I say Mitsuki is pretty strong, you know, in terms of the new generation. The thing with Mitsuki that kind of makes him a wild card is his Sage mode. His Sage mode is very dangerous to use, and if Mitsuki uses Sage mode too much, I believe it'll hurt his body, so has to be careful about that. So that's why I say that, you know, Mitsuki is not necessarily on the same level as Boruto, even without the karma, just because his body can't even control the Sage mode properly to use it. But you know, in this fight, I can definitely see Boruto stopping him out, unless, you know, for some sort of plot convenience that this fight doesn't happen. But Mitsuki, you know, in terms of strength, I feel like could possibly trick Boruto at some point, because the thing with these two is that they know each other's fighting styles. They've been teammates for a while now, so it's kind of one of those things where it's like, okay, I know all your tricks, I know what you can do. So I think for Boruto, some of his tricks that he's going to do and some of the stuff that he's going to be doing is going to be easily figured out by Mitsuki, because Mitsuki is smart too, right? This is Orochimaru's son, so I wouldn't necessarily, you know, throw him out. You got to give, you know, Mitsuki a chance here, because he can still, you know, pull some things out his sleeve. But yeah, you know, just in terms of everything else, I feel like Boruto should already be a Chunin at this point, but you know, they're doing the formalities and whatnot. I guess we're just gonna gas up Boruto some more. I mean, Boruto has 2 Otsutsuki fights under his belt. Make it 3 if you want to count the Urashiki fight. He's participated in 3 Otsutsuki fights. That is crazy to me. At the age that he is, to have that sort of experience under his belt, that is crazy to me. So that's what I'm saying. Like, every time I just think of new things, it's just like, why is Boruto even fighting these people? You know, if this fight happens with Boruto and Mitsuki, then I can definitely see Mitsuki getting wiped out if Boruto just goes all out. Karma or no karma, right? But it will be very interesting if, just because, you know, for plot reasons, that Mitsuki ends up winning or this fight doesn't happen at all. But yeah, I'm very interested to see how this goes. Now, one of the things that I am interested in is, how is this new generation going to catch up to Boruto, particularly Sarada and Mitsuki, right? Now, everybody else can kind of sit back, but particularly Sarada and Mitsuki need to sort of catch up to Boruto. I'm not sure if Sarada is going to be getting her 3 Tomo Sharingan pretty soon. I think that would help out a little bit too, you know, later on down the line, get the Mai Genko. But, you know, for right now, she only has 2 Tomo Sharingan. So I think that in terms of at least catching up to Boruto, or at least being able to sort of match his level, they're going to need some power-ups, or going to need to figure out some new techniques. That way they're not completely left in the dust. So we're going to need Sarada and Mitsuki post time skip, right? When these new cyborgs come and they're trying to fight off, I think, what, 3 or 4, I'm not gonna say who for people that watch the anime, but when they're trying to fight off these new enemies, you can't just have Boruto fight off all these people, right? That's ridiculous. There's gonna be some other people that are gonna join the fight, join the fray, and that's gonna have to be Sarada and Mitsuki. And for Mitsuki, that's gonna mostly come from learning how to use the Sage mode properly, because if he learns how to use the Sage mode properly, then he'll get a lot stronger that way. But that's kind of my thoughts about Boruto participating in these Chunin exams. Definitely should be disqualified, but hey, kind of curious to see how it goes. Anyways, let me know what you guys think. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and join the Discord. And I'll see you guys later. Peace.